sense or whatever it is. This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And do me a favor, before we get started, let me know that you're there. Can you hear me? If you can, let me know. Chime in, type something, let me know you're here. I can see the stream have started, but I don't know about the chat. So where y'all at? Let's see. All right, I see some people over here chatting in, but I don't see y'all in. Okay, there it is. There it is. I had to touch the screen. Maybe there's a delay, something like that. Let's check the sound. 1, 2, 1, 2, because we got to get started tonight, y'all. Yeah, man, we got to get started because this is some stuff we need to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to have to go out and explore the Wiley and Elusive Chameleon. That's right. You know, you don't want to get too close to that little bugger. She's an angry little bugger, and I'm talking about Chameleon Harris on the loose. You know they're desperate when they send Chameleon out there to try to go ahead and blend in and pretend that the Biden administration is doing stuff. So somebody said, start the salad choppy. Oh, yeah, it's going to be choppy. Now, as long as the sound ain't popping and cracking and beatboxing and stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. Somebody give me the thumbs up. Give me the green light, and I'll go. I'll go. Come on. Where's the green light? The thumbs up? Something. Give me something. Give it to me. Now. There we go. All right. Said all good. Let me get loose then. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, guys, before we get started, don't forget you could visit my merch store at Kevin's Corner. My corner store, actually. You can visit that. The link is right below the video. Please check that out. And that number you see on the screen, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, then this way, if something strange should take place with my channel, I'll at least be able to communicate that to all of my subscribers. And then finally, if you want to support the channel by giving to my monthly fundraiser, the link is also below. And also, let me get this out the way. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Look, y'all. Oh, somebody done got cut up. There, he's back, man, looking nice and handsome. Yeah, you can get Gizmo's merch as well inside of that merch store. You like that, Gizmo? Would you like that? Would you like that merchandise? He gave the groomer a fit yesterday. Yeah, he does it every time. That man is a drama king. You would have thought they were killing him. Oh, God. I'm swimming. Ain't even in the water yet. Yeah, I put him in the tub one time. It was that much water. He was trying to swim on the way down. On the way down, he's like, okay, I might drown in about 2 inches of water. Such a drama king. Then acts like he's tough. Growling and all that stuff. So anyway, let's get into what we need to talk about tonight. We might bring him back at the end of the show. Who knows? So, guys, we got to start off the show with a little good news. I don't like to always be gloom and doom. So let's start off the show with a little good news.
Well, this just into 11 Alive. A judge has ordered a hearing to look into allegations of misconduct against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her involvement with the special prosecutor in the Fulton County election interference case. So an attorney for one of the defendants is accusing Willis of an improper romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade.
Uh-oh. So let me get this straight. Fat Fanny got to go to court and defend it. I know they sitting back. All right, how are we going to spin this? Okay, because you know, this defendant of this guy right here would not come out with those accusations unless she has some type of evidence. So she done already said, look, I got witnesses. All you need to do, Fat Fanny, is drop the charges against my client. But see, here's the thing. If Fat Fanny dropped those charges against her client, then that also means Fat Fanny is guilty of the accusations, or she wouldn't have dropped the charges. So now Fat Fanny is double trapped. She's in the middle. She's getting jumped from both sides. Turn around and swing on somebody, one to the back of the head, then you turn around and one to the side of the head. You're getting jumped. So now she is in a little bit of a pickle, And I'm sure if this goes to court somehow, she's going to come out with her same lame excuses of being a woman and being discriminated against, and the black man that is a perfect black man, not my lover. He's only being targeted because he's black. So I can't wait until the details come out about that, because I don't want to just be spreading rumors, y'all. I want those rumors to become facts.
In a court filing this month, Michael Roman, you see right there, a co-defendant in the election interference case, says the pair in the DA's office should be disqualified from prosecuting the case and the criminal charges dismissed.
Yeah, they should be disqualified from practicing law. With these type of shenanigans, hooking folks up, now we find out that when she was in that church the other day, y'all, talking about some, Lord, wait till you, I'm gonna have to go ahead and expose these folks and all of that gibberish. And she said that she hired 3 attorneys and paid them all the same. Only now we find out that the white man got paid $100 less than the black man and the woman. Because, you know, Democrats got to always, you know, we're looking out for women and we're looking out. All right. Had to reconnect real quick because the internet. So I was using my Wi-Fi. So I said, you know what? Let me go to the network. I'm using my main phone now, and hopefully T-Mobile will come through. Hopefully they'll come through. I'll boast about them later. But anyway, you know how they like to brag about, you know, we support women and we support black people. So apparently she did that. And the guy who was the most qualified got $100 less than the other 2. Now, how is Fat Fanny going to explain that? That's why you shouldn't go out there and try to plead your case in public in a black church. You don't think that could be used as evidence? So she's not very smart. But let's continue.
Judge Scott McAfee has scheduled a hearing for February 15th.
Oh. And then, of course, guys, let's get to some stupid news. More stunts by the Democrats. So y'all remember, I think, what is it, Stefani went on one of those raggedy networks and ripped one of those raggedy commentators. Yeah, exposed her. Well, guess what? Now the Democrats are coming out with some shenanigans. Check this out, y'all.
What about 2024?
We will see if this is a legal and valid election. What we're seeing so far is that Democrats are so desperate, they're trying to remove President Trump from the ballot. That is a suppression of the American people, and the Supreme Court is taking that case up in February. That should be a 9-0 to allow President Trump to appear on the ballot, because that's the American people's decision to make this November.
Now, see, you know, the Democrats can't have a powerful woman like that out there dropping knowledge like that. You can't have somebody out there who is a staunch Trump supporter who has laid a wonderful, wonderful prototype down to show how to deal with these people, and not to kowtow to them and back up off of their accusations and capitulate to all their stupid questions. Do you support white nationalism? Because we need to know. I mean, if Trump is a white nationalist and you're supporting him, does that make you a white nationalist? Stuff like that. So she gets on this show and destroys this lady. And of course, what does the Democrats try to use this interview for?
Matters, of course, halted pending that appeal, as you say. But just to be very clear, I don't hear you committed to certifying the election results. Will you only commit to certify the results if former President Trump wins? Does that mean former President Trump wins?
No, it means if they are constitutional.
Several days later.
Well, at least Stefani should be ashamed of herself.
No, you should be ashamed of yourself. To allow yourself to get up there and be puppeted by Nancy Pelosi. To allow yourself to be installed as an overseer of minorities and stuff, a race baiter, to allow yourself to be up there with somebody's hand up your butt doing this. So now here he comes with that list. At least Stefani should be ashamed of herself. Sounding like dang on Sylvester the Cat, sucker and succotash.
There's no decent, rational, credible individual. Particularly,
no decent, rational, credible individual. Did it sound, and I don't know if y'all seen that interview or not. Maybe you didn't watch my show during that. But did it sound like she's not decent, rational, and credible? Everything she dropped on that network right there was factual. She exposed their angles, their efforts to try to paint her, you know, as some bad person or put her in a corner or, you know, demonize Trump. She was excellent in that interview. And that's why they have to come out and do crap like this. Send out this clown. So now what are they going to try to do, y'all? And she's in the runnings. There's rumors that she's in the runnings for VP, a couple other people, but she's definitely qualified, it seemed like. So now they want to go ahead maybe and do a preemptive strike on her. A preemptive strike. We want to discredit her just in case she gets some funny ideas of advancement.
Folks who were here on January 6th when the violent insurrection took place or are closely connected.
When the violent insurrection took place, when will somebody have the gonads to step up and check these dirty, stinking Democrats from saying this? Well, the media is not going to do it because all the left-wing media all starts off with insurrection, violent insurrection. Insurrection took place. They're using the same language that the Democrats gave them to use. Make sure you stay on insurrection. Whenever you talk about J6, lead in with insurrection, because that's the term we're going to need to try to justify getting Trump off of the ballots. So insurrection. That's right, man. We want folks dreaming about insurrection. When they wake up, insurrection. You know what? We want them Freudian slipping. Sorry, honey, I'm having a problem with my insurrection. What? I'm sorry, I've been watching too much MSNBC and CNN. My bad. We want them Freudian slipping. So this guy right here is coming out talking about an insurrection, but nobody ever stops to ask them. Excuse me, 2 questions. Why didn't the FBI label this as an insurrection? And please tell me, why wasn't anyone charged with insurrection? Therefore, why are you using the term insurrection?
To the institution of Congress should claim that the violent insurrectionists,
which none was charged. None. I mean, this is amazing. That's like me getting a speeding ticket, and they're talking about the murderer. The murderer right there is coming in right now. He was doing 170 miles per hour. Yes. So the violent murderer here, and I'm going, I wasn't accused or charged of murder, but you're titling me as a murderer. You're claiming that I was a murderer. I was caught with a speeding ticket. That's it. So this is what they're doing. I mean, these people should be sued for like defamation. They're labeling these people as violent insurrectionists
who attack and brutally beat police officers.
You mean the ones that were waving them in? Those ones? What about the ones that were walking with their arms over their shoulders? How about the ones standing there with their arms folded? What about the ones that was directing people where to go? What about the ones that were escorting folks around that building during that violent insurrection? What about the ones that released that violent insurrectionist and gave him a fist bump as he walks out the door? What about that one? What about the violent insurrectionist that somehow was in there dressed like a Trump supporter, telling him to open up the door? You mean like that one? You mean like that one? The violent insurrectionist, right, who walked between the velvet ropes as police officers walked past him like they didn't even see him? You mean like that? You big, fat, nasty, peanut head, lisp having?
Are hostages. Extreme MAGA Republicans.
Well, yeah. If they're still in jail for trespassing and stuff like that, all because you guys want to make an example out of them by labeling them violent insurrectionists and domestic terrorists, then yes, they're political hostages. See, this is the games that these people play with other people's lives. They're doing this knowing that these people should not be still in jail. The sentencing for some of them is absolutely ridiculous. And yet they're out here okay with that. These folks don't care how many lives they ruin for politics. Ruin. Do you know how many people they went after in the Trump cabinet? They didn't care nothing about Michael Flynn's service to his country. They was like, man, let's ruin that dude. I don't care who it is. I don't care how innocent they are. Carter Page, George Snappalapakis, all of them. They did not care about them people. They're like, destroy him. Anybody who got the nerve to support Trump is worthy of destruction. Anybody, here's what they're really saying. Anybody who got the nerve to stand in our way in our pursuit of power and dominance and control, destroy him. Same thing. Love Trump until he got in their way, destroy him.
Have become captive of Donald Trump's radical ideology and are parroting his words, his thoughts, and his ideas.
Wow. See, this is where I need a press pass, man. When am I getting it? I want my press pass. I'm going straight up to Washington, and I'm going to camp out all night when the Democrats come out for their press conference. Be the first one. I'm going to be that kid in the classroom who every time the teacher's going, oh, God, here we go. Soon as they walk in, good morning, everyone. My hand would be up already. Already. That's what it would be. They'd be like, oh, God, Kevin's out there again. No, you go out. No, I'm not going. I'm not going. No, that guy right there embarrassed me last time. You go out. I want them like that. But nope. What happens? This guy comes out talking about their pay. Elise Stefani is parroting the MAGA Republicans talking points and Trump and the white nationalists and the insurrectionists.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to introduce a resolution to censure Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for providing aid, comfort, and support to the rioters and insurrectionists who violently attacked this Capitol on January 6th.
What? See, there we go. Another stunt. More shenanigans. So now what they're going to try to do, aid and support. How? That's my question. See, this is the stupidity of the Democrat Party. So now they're going to try to come out and try to censure her, all because they've been getting censored all over the place. I mean, Bowman should have still been kicked out, the guy who pulled the fire alarm. He should have been expelled from Congress. But now here they come out and they're going to pull this mess, this stupid stunt. Now, I hope it backfires completely on them. I'm talking seriously on them. So here we go. This bum comes out who is a very clear and well-known liar in the Democrat Party. But here he is saying she provided aid and comfort to the violent insurrectionists and protesters. I guess he said something like the rioters. There it is. Now, where's the evidence of this?
2021 in an effort to undermine our democracy and illegally stop the peaceful transfer of power. Since that attempted...
How? How are they going to stop the peaceful transference of power? These are all statements that are thrown out there and yet never questioned. So, at what point during the violent insurrection did they realize they were not going to accomplish their goals? I mean, all the video footage that's been released, and we see them walking around that the Capitol, looking confused, don't know where to go, possibly being guided by some plants within the Capitol, police giving them directions. I'm sure they probably tapped the police. Excuse me, where will we go to complete our insurrection? Now, we're trying to stop the peaceful transference of power. So who do we need to talk to? What's the next step to stop that? Where's the room that takes over the Capitol? Where's that one? Anybody know where the room that takes over the Capitol is? So we can go ahead and claim it like playing the King of the Hill? See, we want to do that because we're trying to stop the peaceful transference of power. They never even explain how. They never even tell you what would happen next. They were in there, and as we see the footage, people weren't doing anything for the most part, except those Antifians in that one room where the mysterious lady in the window was telling them how to take this building, had the floor plan somehow, and I still don't know why she's not brought up on charges yet. I don't know where she is. But nonetheless, I need to see how that would have played out. Speculate. Take a wild guess. I would be asking these folks all kind of questions to make them seem dumber than they are. I'd be like, so tell me how that would look. What would be the next step in that? Who was leading that insurrection? That's my question, because Trump wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. Or maybe Bigfoot Ray Epps, the guys that you protected. Maybe that. But they can't answer those things because they're never required to do it because the press sucks.
Coup, Ms. Stefanik has repeatedly and persistently expressed support for the duly convicted insurrectionists. Last week, echoing the inflammatory...
The duly and convicted insurrectionists. How many of these people were convicted of insurrection? See, she should win this hands down. That's all you have to do to win this whole stunt with them trying to censure her. Yeah, all you got to do is come out and say, duly convicted insurrectionists, here's a document of all of the charges and the people who were charged. Could you please, here, we'll let you read it. Give it to him and say, go down that list and find me one of these duly convicted insurrectionists. Show me any one of them that were charged for that. Oh, so she's not supporting convicted insurrectionists? She's supporting people who were charged for, maybe damaging property, the riotous behavior, maybe trespassing. But you're up here calling them all convicted insurrectionists, you lying politician. Lying on American citizens, man. That's why the Democrat Party, man, they suck. These folks need to be beaten into oblivion. I want their whole party to collapse. That's how bad I want them beat. Man.
Language of criminal defendant Donald Trump, Ms. Stefanik disgracefully referred.
Look at that. Throwing out little terms to try to go ahead and criminal defendant Donald Trump. What is he defending himself from? Oh, the weaponization and the false accusations and the stupid charges and the stupid indictments from the Biden administration, who's trying to stop their political opponent. I mean, what legitimate charges is he defending himself from? Huh? Joe Biden should be defending himself from real charges. But yet, Joe Biden's still stumbling around all over the place, making dumb speeches.
Referred to the January 6 insurrectionists in prison as, quote, hostages, unquote. Ms. Stefanik's support of convicted...
Oh, man. I got to get that press conference, man. Oh, hold on. Heavenly Father, bless thou, Son, to be able to have enough resources to go and travel to these joints with a press pass and expose they butts. Man, they just get away with anything. Slinging terms out there. And Republicans, I'm wondering if they catch it. I mean, if I would have been sitting here listening to this guy, these are the thoughts that would be going through my head. Like, wait, did he just say that these people are charged with insurrection and they're not? That should be the first thing come out of any Republican's rebuttal.
Criminals charged with offenses against the United States government, including attempted violence against members of this body, is simply unacceptable from a member of Congress. Nor is it acceptable for a member of Congress who purports to oppose anti-Semitism to equate convicted insurrectionists with the more than 130 Israeli hostages who remain subject to horrific conditions in Gaza.
Did she do that? I mean, that's the thing. Or is he just saying that? See, this is the deception this in the Democrat Party. They are infested with evil. Infested. That's Goldman, yeah. They are infested with deception. I really believe that the devil and all his demons are working seriously through the Democrat Party. I ain't talking about unfortunately, all of their voters are just the fallout of these folks and their evil. And I'm not saying that he ain't working in some rhinos. He's working in those guys too. But we got some strong fighters in the Republican Party who's trying to hold it down, like Elise Stefanik. Thus, the devil are using these idiots to attack her. So he just comes out and says that. He didn't say she's actually said that. He's just inferring.
You've been going around.
And now we get to the Chameleon. And she's definitely being used by you know who. So now she shows up on The View with the hens, man. Look at that. We got us a whole panel of stupidity, y'all. Woo! We got the stupid panel. Oh, man. So let's get into the Chameleon, because it's bad when they send out the Chameleon, who is very, very unpopular. But you know what? That's why we brought you in, Chameleon. Do what you do best. Get out there, adapt, adjust, change colors, lie, push all kind of propaganda, because Joe can't talk. Joe can't talk. You think they would bring that dude on The View? If they did, they'd have mucus sitting right next to him. I thought, Mr. President, I will be sitting right next to you just in case you have a gaffe, and I will step in and field that question for you. They would never, ever trust that dude to come out there and sit in the middle of all of them and have a conversation, because he would get exposed. So they send the Chameleon out there. Woo, she's amongst friendly fire right here. So here we go, y'all. Let's see what the Chameleon got to say as Rocks in the voice. Start off asking her some questions.
On the country, you're talking to people, asking questions, finding out what they're thinking. So what are they telling you, and what are they telling you they want from the two of you? What?
Okay, y'all hear Rocks in the voice. Talking like Jerome. Jerome's in the house. I say Jerome's in the watch your mouth. So Rocks in the voice comes out and asks her, what are the people telling you? Now, do you think Chameleon is going to come out there and say what the people are telling you? Or is she going to come out and say what we are saying that the people are telling us? See, we're going to tell you guys what our talking points are and then pretend that it is the people bringing these things up. What this woman's about to do is tell you every talking point, every little narrative that the Democrat Party wants to use against the Republicans and Trump, and then gonna backdate it. Gonna be like, all right, now it's really the people. The people are wondering about this. But every one of these issues she's about to bring up are issues that they use on the campaign trail as their go-to, policies and talking points. That's what it is. So here we go.
Well, I am traveling the country, and let's start with the women of America.
Okay, here we go.
What they are telling me in state after state is that they are concerned.
Look at her looking down at her notes. You see the Chameleon making that adaptation right there? What they are telling me is that they are concerned. So these are the things that they want Democrat voters to have in their mind. She's planting the thoughts in the minds of the audience right now as we speak. That's what she's doing. She's planting it in the mind of these people by letting them think that this is a big issue going around the country. Now, do you really think where she goes, these are the things that people are talking about? Listen to this.
Country. Many of us often think about the future of our country in the context of our children. And so...
Now, you hear that? In the context of our children. She says that, and then right after that, y'all. Now, she's saying, in the context of our children, but...
They talk about their concern that if their daughter is going to college, will she go to a state where she will have access to the health care she might need?
Oh, the irony, y'all. The health care that she might need, a.k.a. abortions. Now, if they ain't the most nasty, raggedy party ever, and talking out the side of their neck, she got that split tongue, y'all. So she comes out talking about they're concerned about the children, and then at the same time, they're concerned about aborting those children. This is crazy. Just like they sweeping down, we're concerned about the children at the border being separated and ripped from the parents, but at the same time, aren't concerned about the 80-something thousand kids that are missing from the mucus administration. They're not concerned about the children. So here she is. They're about to go to their bread and butter. Abortion. See, these are the top topics that's important to them. And they know these are emotional topics that their bubbleheads will immediately respond to. So now they're going to go ahead and try to ride in on that. So we know that one's coming. Here we go.
Including reproductive health. They talk about the prayer that many...
What is that called again? Reproductive health? What's that? What's that? See, that's my question. So what did you do? Did you change up that definition? Yeah, reproductive health. You know, when I think of that, I think based on reproductive health would be, excuse me, doctor, my husband and I are trying to conceive and we're having a little trouble. Is there something you can do to help us have a baby? Or I'm pregnant and you know what, I'm having some problems. Oh, all right, we want to make sure you can reproduce. So let's go ahead and find out what's going on. We want to make sure you and the baby are protected. Reproductive health, how is that healthy to abort the baby? Who does that benefit? It doesn't benefit the baby. So what are you talking about? Reproductive health. You should just go ahead and call it for what it is because these folks are chameleons. She's out there adapting. So now she wants us to think of this as simple reproductive health care. There it is. I come in for my pap smear, come in for my yearly checkup. I just want to make sure I'm good. Versus I want to abort a baby. See, so they can't say that because that don't sound good. That don't sound good. So she goes ahead, flips that, and then of course, some of the other go-tos, they swear up and down folks are out there scared about gun violence. See, they're revealing what their campaign talking points are going to be like every 4 years.
Will speak and say as they drop their children off at school because of their fear that there may be somebody with an assault weapon.
Assault weapon? Do you really think there's a plethora, a lot of Americans out there as she goes about meandering and propaganding? Do you think they're out there? You know what? There's 17 of us in here, and all of us wonder about dropping our kids off at school. We don't know if we'll ever see them again. So therefore, let's get all of those guns from those conservatives, because that's what they really want. They want to go ahead and target a whole bunch of conservatives that own what they're labeling as assault rifles. Yeah. They even be calling them sometimes automatic weapons and stuff like that. They want to get those from them so they can complete their last, leg of tyranny. Yeah, get that out the way, man. Then we could run the table with controlling speech, sending the feds to you, sending the IRS to you. We get that big hurdle out the way and we good. So now here she is talking about they're worried about they're sending their kids. How about this? Here's a solution, bubblehead. How about saying, well, you know what? They wouldn't have to worry about that if we would allow police officers or security guards with weapons, or even allow teachers who can carry to be in the schools. See, if we secure the schools like we secure your raggedy stinking tail, then they wouldn't have to worry. So instead of offering the simple solution, their solution is to get all the guns. See, this is how you know what their real motive is. When you jump over the obvious solution, the most practical solution, and you go to an extreme solution, that makes me realize you really want that extreme solution because it benefits you. Same thing with immigration. Y'all jump over the simplest solution. Build that wall, make these folks remain in Mexico, and make them check in with another country before they get here. There you go. Simple solution, problem solved. What are y'all talking about? A better path to citizenship. We want to make sure we can process these people. And I'm saying that's odd because y'all claim to be smart, but y'all are recommending the dumbest solutions that don't solve the problem. So could it be you're okay with the problem and you're going to pretend that this unrational solution is really going to solve it? All that is going to do is accomplish their goals and objectives. That is it. So now she wants us to believe, instead of securing the school buildings, let's get everybody else's guns.
At some time during that school day, they talk about the concern that they have about whether their children, if they go to college, will be able to pay off their student loan debt.
There we go. You see her slide that in? Free stuff. So let me see. She's claiming that these people are concerned about the children, which then turns around and says abortions by calling it reproductive health. Then dropping those kids off at school and worried about, guns and stuff like that. What? I'm in Benny's. I saw you in Benny's chat on replay. Yeah, I did. I made a comment in Benny's chat. Yeah. So, but yeah, she turns right around and talks about, these kids and stuff at the schools and things like that. But yet, don't talk about a practical solution to that. Her solution is gun control. And then finally, she talks about another talking point that they all want to stress to their voters. So here's what she's really doing, y'all. Here's what's coming down the stretch. This is what they're going to ride in on. Okay. Instead of saying these are things that we are trying to ride in on, she's trying to say the people want this. The people want this. Here's what they're going to be talking about coming down the stretch. Abortion. They're going to do that. They do that all the time. Gun control. They do that all the time. And then free stuff. That's what she's really saying. Free stuff. Free schooling for everybody. Okay, so are the people talking about this or are the Democrats talking about it? That's what they're doing.
And they then thank our administration for some of the work we've been doing.
What?
Standing for fundamental rights, like the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
Right back to abortion. Right back to the go to that well. They ain't trying to hit no jump shot. They ain't trying to hit a layup. It's obvious. Telegraphing. I ain't passing the ball. I don't care how many folks out there defending me, all 5 players. Everybody's going, how about we, pass the ball around? Nope, abortion, going straight to the well. I'm slamming it right down abortion's throat. Here we go.
The need to have reasonable gun safety laws and stand for the idea, as I do. I support the Second Amendment. But there's no reason that we have assault weapons in a civil society and we need to ban them.
What's that? See, she's sitting up there amongst them hens. We need to ban them. There it is, man. If you ever wondered what the Democrats' agenda is, she's telling it. But she's telling it on a friendly network, and these people are buying it. See, so now she's like, we need to ban assault weapons. And I have a question for her. What is an assault weapon? That would destroy her right now. That's why she's on The View and not in Kevin's corner. Because if she would have pulled that crap in my corner, I'd go, excuse me, what is an assault weapon? Oh, it's the AK-47 and it's AR-15. Well, wouldn't any handgun or any weapon be assault weapons? Now, I can use this right here for going out and cutting up, kill in the wild, kill a turkey, kill a deer, go to work, right? Or I can use that to hurt somebody or defend myself. One of the two. It then becomes an assault weapon. See, if I take this right here and go to work hitting somebody in the head with my little fake walkie-talkie, this is an assault walkie-talkie. There you go. But, hey, they never question these people about that. You think she knows about guns? Absolutely not. Neither does Joe.
Talk about the fact that our administration, because of the president, Joe Biden, and our administration, has tackled the issue of student loan debt and have now forgiven student loan debt for over $3.5 million.
More free stuff.
And they talk about these issues in the context often of this election coming up in November and how serious this issue is in terms of the consequences, in particular around attacks to fundamental freedoms.
Oh, and here we go. The main overall theme of their campaign is going to be the attacks to freedom. There it is. The whole thing is revolving around, the fundamental rights of democracy, and we're trying to protect democracy because democracy is on the ballot. She's ripping off the talking points. She's not talking about the talking points coming organically from the people. She's telling you the talking points by blaming it on the people. That's right. So now here she goes, man. Every talking point they want their audience to hear.
And the need to have a future where we respect the rule of law, we respect individual rights, and we try to unify the country instead of dividing the country.
Oh, well, respect the rule of law, which they don't. They don't respect individual rights. They don't. And they don't try to unify the country. And now, all of a sudden, somebody who they used to rely on as an automatic Trump hater, somebody must have got a moment of clarity because he disagrees with her on this.
Country.
How do you see the U.S. economy playing itself out over the next 12 months? This is an election year. We've talked a lot about what just took place in Iowa and trying to understand how the American public is going to feel about the economy may ultimately dictate how the president is decided.
Oh. Yes, I agree with that. I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, and when stock markets are up, it's kind of like this little drug we all feel. Like, it's just great, But remember, we've had so much fiscal and monetary stimulation. So I'm a little more on the cautious side that we are facing a lot of things in 24 or 25. And you remember.
Wait a minute, Mr. CEO Jamie Dimon or Dimon or whatever, however you pronounce it. Wait a minute. You telling me that we got bigger problems than what Chameleon Harris was just talking about? You're telling me she thinks that these are the real issues for Americans. See, or is she telling them, hey, America, these should be your issues? Because, see, we are never going to touch on the real issues that we're responsible for destroying. All of these issues that's going on right now, we're responsible for all of that. So we're going to tell you what the issues should be. We're going to download the issues into your head. We're going to run this psyop as we go on a tour, allowing Chameleon to show up on the set and tell y'all, here's what y'all need to be thinking about, because this is what we're going to campaign on. That's what this is. But then he comes out and he's bringing up real issues. and they wonder why they're losing.
You mentioned Ukraine, the terrorist activity in Israel, the Red Sea, quantitative tightening, which I still question if we understand exactly how that works. I don't think we do. How QE actually worked, what the effect of negative, zero rates was for all this time, and obviously the politics, and then the Ukrainian war is affecting oil, gas, food, migration. So you have all these very powerful forces that are going to be affecting us in 24 and 25.
But not according to Chameleon. See, because democracy is on the ballot, and freedoms and abortion and all of this stuff. There you go. See, those are the issues. Dropping your kids off at school and wondering if they, things like that. So now here's this guy coming in, and he is not Trump hating completely. This guy sounds like he's a rational guy who's thinking about the real issues, and then he makes a boo-boo, y'all. Listen to what he's about to say. I wonder if he's going to have a job after this.
So if I was the government, I would be preparing for what I'm going to do about that, assuming things aren't good. And I just also want to point out, I wish the Democrats would think a little more carefully when they talk about MAGA, and if you travel this country, people are growing, they're hungry to grow, they're innovating.
Somebody say he is the CEO of Chase? Really? Says JP Morgan. But maybe, I don't know, is JP Morgan on Chase? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, you hear that? That the Democrats need to be a little more careful as they talk about MAGA. What? Oh, where are you going with this?
Everywhere. It's not just Silicon Valley. So we've got this great hand. But when people say MAGA, they're actually looking at people voting for Trump, and they think they're voting, and they're basically scapegoating them, that you are like him. But I don't think they're voting for Trump because of his family values. No. Now, if you look, just take a step back.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Mr. JP Morgan CEO. We've been hearing all of his voters are voting for him because they are white nationalists and they want to take their country back and make it white again. And they love Hitler and they love, of course, dictatorship and they love fascism and Trump has brainwashed them and all of that stuff. That's what we've been hearing. So you're telling me that maybe these MAGA voters got something, going here when it comes down to just looking at life, looking at real problems in the United States, being able to deduce what's going on and come to some conclusions that the better choice would be a president that supports the country, their values, and their well-being? That's what you're telling me? You telling me it ain't because they love white nationalism? Unbelievable. Who would have ever thought?
Be honest, he was kind of right about NATO, kind of right about immigration. Mm-hmm. He grew the economy quite well.
China virus.
Tax reform worked. Mm-hmm. He was right about some of China. I don't like what he did.
No, I said China virus.
Yeah, I understand. He made them right. And I don't like how he said things about Mexico. But he wasn't wrong about some of these critical issues. And that's why they're voting for him. And I think people should be a little more respectful of our...
What? This guy's blowing them. Now, I know, of course, I'm surprised that they are not already positioning a whole bunch of protesters to show up at the bank. We want you to step down. You're aiding and abetting half the country who are white nationalists and insurrectionists and terrorists. We want you to step down right now. We are boycotting JP Morgan and Chase and whatever else. I'm surprised they're not doing that now. So now this man got the nerve to say exactly the opposite of what the media has been saying and what the Democrats have been saying, and I'm pretty sure he got some pull. He got some clout right here. He's the bank CEO. Let's see here. What did he say again?
I think people should be a little more respectful of our fellow citizens. And when you guys have people up here, you should always ask the why. Not like it's a binary thing. You're supporting Trump, you're not supporting Trump.
And that's the problem. They never ask the why. They assume the why, or they tell you the why. See, they're not going to bring real common sense Trump supporters on here and say, okay, why are you supporting Trump? And these people tell them, and then right after they say, wow, that was a good point. If anything, these people are very deceived. It's obvious these people have been poisoned by the mind of Donald Trump. And we're about to see an example of that right after this.
Why are you
It's hard to hate 75 million of your fellow Americans.
I agree.
Yeah, but the Democrats have gave it a great shot. They're trying to make half the country hate 75 million of their fellow citizens. That's what they're trying to do. When they get out there and they start saying things like we're about to hear.
And the Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables, hugging onto their Bibles and their beer and their guns. I mean, really, can we just stop that stuff and actually grow up and treat other people with respect? to listen to a little bit.
Well, wait a minute. We just heard Chameleon say that they're trying to unite the country. That's what we heard. We just heard Joe Biden during his random speeches sometime talk about, oh, you know what? There's too many times we're divided, and I'm here to restore the soul of the country and bring us all together and unite us. But you MAGA folks, you ultra MAGA folks, and you're destroying the country, and you know what? You're white nationalists and xenophobia and extremism. That's what we hear all the time.
And I do think the economy will affect. I think this negative talk about MAGA is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
Yes, it is, man. Ooh, he gonna get it. He can't be coming out saying stuff like that. Now, do you think the Democrats listen to that, man? You think they stop for a second to say, what are we doing wrong? Why is it that all of the stuff we talk about seems to backfire? We done told these people that they're the problem of the country, they're white nationalists, and these voters are brainwashed by Trump. We done told them that Trump's every evil thing under the sun. We done indicted the man. We tried to impeach him twice. All of this stuff, but somehow it's not working. So what are we doing wrong? You know what? Nothing. Let's continue doing it. So here she is, y'all.
And we try to unify the country instead of dividing the country.
Really? And, you know, the Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables, hugging onto their Bibles and their beer and their guns. I mean, really, like, can we just stop that stuff and actually grow up and treat other people with respect and listen to a little bit?
No, that ain't the Democrat style. You think that's their style, man? If you were dealing with regular folks with some type of moral compass, yes, maybe. But you're dealing with Democrats, man. They were produced without a moral compass. It's broken. When they came down that assembly line, all right, wait, none of these have moral compasses in them. Who's the moral compass guy? And what, he went on a smoke break? You gotta be kidding me. What are we gonna do with all these Democrat bodies right here? You know what? Don't tell anybody. Go ahead and ship them out with no moral compass. Nobody will ever notice until they run for office and show up on The View.
What a difference a year makes.
They definitely were, and it's easy to forget this, but call this up. This is a line graph of the support for the candidates going back to the start of 2023. And you remember at the start of 23, Republicans had that bad midterm. The Trump-aligned candidates cost them key races. You had Ron DeSantis.
But wait a minute. What happened? What changed? Because, see, it looks like the Democrats thought more is better. More is better. See, they do this all the time. They don't know when to leave well enough alone. So you'll have a moment where folks done settled down. You know what I'm saying? What does the Democrats do? All right, good. Now that the people have settled down and Trump's ratings and support has dwindled, you know what we should do? Let's go throw some gasoline on that little flicker. Let's do that. That'll work. That's what they do. They're like, you know what? We see folks kind of, it's like, all right, man, So let's go ahead and re-injure the injury by what?
DeSantis in some cases within 10 points of Trump nationally. That's why all these candidates emerged. They thought Republicans were moving on. Here's where it diverged. Trump's line went up. DeSantis's went down. Do you know what happened that week? That week, first week of March 2023, Trump was indicted for the first time in New York on the Stormy Daniels matter. It clearly brought a rally around Trump effect to Republicans.
4 indictments and the trajectory goes up, and maybe that's why we see him in courtrooms as much as the campaign trail. It's working for him.
There you go. See? Now, these smart dummies, they don't even see it. They don't get it. See, these are the ones that say, you know what? It's not enough to accuse Brett Kavanaugh of just one sexual assault. Let's go ahead and say he was a serial rapist. That's right. That'll work. That'll make it more believable. It's not enough to simply indict Trump over one thing. Let's go ahead and indict him over 4, 5, 6 things. Yeah, keep going. It's not enough to impeach him once. Let's run that back. Yeah, see, the more the better. The more the dumber. The more the obvious. That's what it is. The more they do this, the more obvious it is that this right here is being generated by evil and by Satan. So now, look at this, guys. Once again, someone's talking about all of these MAGA folks.
The worst thing we've learned about the Republican primary electorate is not yet in these entrance polls questions tonight. CBS poll, their final poll before the Iowa caucus, is a national poll. shows that 81% of Republican primary voters and caucus participants, 81% of those people.
So now, once again, demonize the voters. Polarize the voters. Yeah, go ahead, question their moral compass and their character. That right there should work. That should motivate them all to abandon Trump and come back to Biden, right? That's what that's going to do. Watch what he says about 81% of these people.
Agree with Donald Trump that immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country. That means that 81% of the Republican primary electorate believe Nikki Haley has poisoned blood and is poisoning the blood.
Did you hear that? And you see Rachel Madcow sitting there looking like she's intrigued? Like, that's deep. That's deep. No, it's dumb and it's evil. So this man right here is on TV saying that 81% of these people who knows the proper interpretation of what Trump was saying, somehow now, this man is saying that Nikki Haley, they all feel Nikki Haley has tainted blood and is poisoning the blood of the country. That's what we're getting out of the news today. That's what it is. Nobody on that set questioned him. They all sat back and looking at him like he's deep, profound. That's wow. That right there it gave me an epiphany. So 81% of these people, you're telling me, are sitting back looking at Nikki Haley and saying, it's not because she's a rhino. It's not because she's a part of the Uniparty. No, it's because she ain't pure 100%. You know what, y'all? White. Yeah, man. That's right, y'all. I'm back. It's me, Bob. The stereotypical white nationalist. No, man, we ain't gonna support no Nick Coli or whatever her name is, man. That's right. She ain't white. She ain't right. That's what we want, man. We want right folks. This white folks. You understand that? Gonna bring you in some Indian. I don't know where she from. She ain't gonna little Indian that could. Trying to take over our country. We ain't gonna have that, man. She got that Indian blood in her. See, man, it ain't white as snow like ours. It's probably some type of off yellow or brown or some mulatto blood. I don't know what kind of blood she rocking in that body, man. But if it ain't white, it ain't right. They ain't gonna. Now, God bless ya, only if you're white. You understand that? See, that's what she's saying. That's what this guy said. He's saying that, yeah, man, all these people feel that Nikki Haley's blood is tainted. That's why they won't support her. Now, here's what's crazy. They don't like Republicans. They're just trying to demonize the voters for voting for Trump. They don't even like Nikki Haley. You know, that's what kills me when Republicans think that the left is on their side. Either you're a rhino in cahoots with the left, or you're being used by the left to go after a bigger fish. So now here he is talking about they all believe that her blood has been tainted.
Of the United States. So that as a roadblock for Nikki Haley is impossible, but it also shows you what you're up against in any kind of campaign against voters like that, the convertibility of voters like that to anything other than the Trump view of the world.
You see? And they wonder why. They wonder why all of these Trump supporters, number one, call them fake news. Number two, are not being swayed by their propaganda. Instead of coming out here and really wanting to know the why. Why are you people voting for Trump? This guy just said that they're voting for Trump because they look at Nikki Haley's blood as tainted. They're seeing it through the view of Trump, which, if he was honest, they're seeing it through the view of Trump in its proper context. See, Trump's talking about bringing in illegal immigrants with all of their problems that are destroying the fabric of our country. That's what he's talking about. But this guy is dumbing it down to the most simplistic, application. It's their actual blood. It's the fact that they are people of color in most cases. That's what Trump's referring to. It's the fact that Trump wants all of these Americans to remain pure as white as snow. But wait a minute. We're already mixed up in America. Whole bunch of people ain't pure white in America already. So what do we do with those? What do we do with those? See, if it was all about keeping America white, you're not trying to get rid of the already mixed blood folks in America. All you're trying to do is stop the folks that are coming in from the border. Could it be you're trying to stop them because they're illegal and not because of their blood? But not this guy. He comes straight out lies and demonizes all of these people. 80% of them now all of a sudden are racist against Nikki Haley's blood.
Is impossible. There's no campaign ad. There's no speech you can make. There's no, Republican who Chris Christie might be able to convince some of them. Not them. Not any of the 81%. Not one of them can be converted.
I think
you see that? That man, they have to now try to justify to their raggedy audience why people are still supporting Trump. And their only go-to now is it has to be the voters. That's what it is. It has to be them. They're brainwashing. They're all racist. Because we've been telling y'all, no way nobody will support this white nationalist. That's right. Yeah, that's what it is. But whoa, they did? Oh, well, okay. Well, it can't be because they don't believe he's a white nationalist. It can't be because these folks see the real issues that's going on around the country and think that Trump can solve them. It can't be because these people see us as liars and propagandists. Nope. It's because they're all racist. Going back to this guy.
I think this negative talk about MAGA is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
The president has made saving democracy the center of his campaign. And many of us, I think every one of us at this table understands the damage and the fear of January 6th and all that happened. But it's been 3 years since then, and a lot of minds are already made up. Attacks on Trump are not moving the needle. In fact, 91 indictments are not moving the needle. Voters want to hear about issues affecting their lives, like the economy and the border. Should the campaign be pivoting on its messaging?
They should have pivoted a long time ago. See? Now, she had a nerve to ask her a semi-rational question. All right, y'all done beat the horse to death on J6, on the soul of America, on white nationalism, on saving democracy, on xenophobia, on homophobia, on all of these other issues that if people step back from it, say, those aren't real problems. These aren't real issues. So maybe y'all should pivot. Nope, not them. Watch what she does, y'all. Watch what she does. She's going to go right back to that well.
So there's no doubt that one of the first issues that anyone will think of is the issue they think of when they're at their kitchen table trying to pay their bills.
Wait, is abortion? Or are their kids, you're going to school and you mean like that? Huh? Is that the first thing? Oh, you know what? Let's get guns. But instead, what?
Which is, how is the economy treating them?
Oh.
So there's no question whatsoever that is an important issue, which we have been in the process of addressing. We still need to do more. I would not separate that from the issue of what is at stake in terms of our democracy.
There you go. Tie that mess right back to our democracy. Because, see, that's the only thing we have going right now to try to stop Trump. We have to fear you guys into thinking that we're going to lose our democracy. We done built this whole campaign around, the whole democracy at risk. Trump's about to take over the country. He's Hitler. And, he launched an insurrection. So how are we going to abandon that right now? It's too late. It's too late to change direction, man. We done got this locomotive going in one direction. And you want us to stop it and back this mess up? Nah, man. It's a big propaganda train. Back that thing up. You can't do it. You can't back it up now. So she goes right back to it. No, we can't abandon that. We built the whole campaign around this, man. We had a J6 committee. We done got all these prosecutors involved, all these fake indictments and charges and stuff. You want me to go ahead and pivot from that? It's our bread and butter.
And frankly, I think most people don't think of it in the context of democracy as much as freedom. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
Freedom of women to make decisions about their own body. Could it be freedom to allow the people in individual states to vote on how that all pans out? Could it be that? And if you happen to be in a state where the people decide that we're not going to have abortions in most cases in our state, then how about you just go to the next liberal state? There you go. Somebody said that YouTube is definitely stepping on me. Of course, when I'm dropping all kind of stuff like this, they make me sick. They're saying hate speech. YouTube they pulled you for saying hate speech. But yeah, you gotta kind of reword your words when you're in the chat, or they'll get you. I gotta play around with my titles. I gotta play around with my titles and all of my words, my keyword search. Yeah, that's how it is. Because they're part of this too. But anyway, let's continue, because here she is talking about taking away freedoms. Like what?
The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride.
Do you hear that? So Trump gets it. Okay, now, I declare that people aren't allowed to love who they love. No more of that. I'll tell you who to love. That's what's going to happen? That's what you're telling me? What are you saying, Chameleon? Oh, she's adapting on the spot. Here we go.
The freedom to be able to be free from gun violence.
The freedom to be free from gun violence. Take that massage right there, that message right over to Chi-Town. Go over to Chicago and say that right there in those communities where those black mothers can't let their kids go out and play because of gun violence in S-ho-ran Democrat cities. Only gun violence she's talking about is the ones used by white nationalists that's carrying around that automatic machine gun. That's right, that assault rifle, that military style rifle that most conservatives like to play around with. That's the one she's talking about, because she's not talking about the overwhelming majority of gun violence taking place in S-ho-ran Democrat cities. That's what she's not talking about. But there she is talking about the free from gun violence.
These are fundamental freedoms that are at stake right now. The freedom to have access to the ballot.
And let me understand, the way you're going to go ahead and help all these people be free from the threat of gun violence is by taking their guns. There you go. That's the solution. Let's get all of the law-abiding citizens' guns and justify that by saying people should be free of fearing gun violence. Yeah. You know what makes me feel more comfortable about worrying about gun violence is having a gun. There you go. That also makes the criminals fearful, and they don't want to attack folks in places where a lot of people are carrying guns. That's why they wouldn't go to a school if they knew the school had security. That's why they don't usually go up in banks and try stuff like that. They don't go up in biker clubs talking about everybody on the ground, I'm robbing this place. They don't go up in places like that. See, but here she is. Here she is talking about some freedom of feeling safer from gun violence by taking everybody's guns and leaving the criminals with them.
I travel our country, and I have been in states that have banned access to reproductive freedom, to abortion, even in the case of rape or incest.
Now, wait a minute. I have to see which state she's talking about, because most states have a exception for rape and incest. But even if that's not true, she'll throw it out there. She'll throw it out there. She don't care because she's a Democrat. That's why.
Some of these states, a ban on abortion includes denying a survivor of rape or incest the ability to make a decision about what happens to their body next. It's a big, big deal.
Is it? How many times that's the case? See, or are you trying to make it seem like a big, big deal? Now, I'm not insensitive to situations like that, but I'm just saying most abortions, that's not why they're getting abortions. I like to see the stats on that to justify it's a big, big deal. Just like voter suppression is a big, big deal. Find me the first black man or woman, any minority, that was rejected from voting because they were black, minority, a woman. Find one of those. But according to the left, it's a big, big deal. Let's continue.
But not to the exclusion of and not separated from
what?
The fact that we need to address the cost of living for people on a daily basis.
Now she's trying to go ahead and go back to the real question. So what about that question?
Such as what we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month. When I travel our country, especially seniors are so thankful that they no longer have to make a decision about filling their refrigerator or paying for their prescription.
What about all the other medical costs? Just insulin? There you go. We got insulin down at $35. But what about everything else? Everything else is high? So we're going to cherry pick one thing.
What we have done on student loan debt, this hits to the heart of so many people's pocketbooks. So,
no, it doesn't. See, if you remove student debt and you say these people don't have to pay it back, somebody does. So that ends up hurting the taxpayers' pockets. Somebody has. You don't get rid of debt. You usually just shift it to somebody else. When banks go out, they sell, everything to another bank or something. We'll take that from you. Oh, you thought your payments were going to be eliminated because the bank shut down? No, we now own that. So we still want that money, please. So here she is talking about you know what? Look at student debt. Yeah. We're going to give away stuff to garnish votes. That's what we're going to do. Promise a whole bunch of free stuff.
Both of these issues are true at the same time, and I would not separate them in terms of the connections. I think they're very real.
Because you can't separate them. One, you can't justify it because y'all done a raggedy job on the economy. So you a lightweight touch on that, but then you got to go back to the horse you're riding in on, man. Freedom. Freedom is in jeopardy, man. Democracy is at risk.
We will not have the kind of quality of life that I think most people want without fundamental freedoms.
So which one of those fundamental freedoms were removed under Trump? So let me get this straight. The quality of life was better under Trump and you had your freedoms? I feel way better under the Trump administration because I'm thinking under the Trump administration, I wasn't worried about my guns being taken. I wasn't worried about, the FBI and mis and disinformation boards being put together and them spying on Trump voters. Well, even though they were doing it. But see, I know one thing. If Trump gets back in, he's going to let them have it for that. See, that's the stuff that I don't have to sit back at night and worry about. I wouldn't have to sit back and worry about folks that disagrees with abortions that go out and they protest are going to somehow end up on some terrorist list and the feds breaking into their house. Yeah, if Trump gets back in, I won't have to worry about 81,000 new IRS people walking around knocking on your door with guns. Won't have to worry about that. It's things like that, as she talks about the quality of life and freedom and stuff, would be up. We wouldn't have to worry about that.
And the rights that are guaranteed in our Constitution and in the ideals upon which we were founded. And all of that is very much at stake. We've got a guy right now, the former president, running for office, openly saying that he promises to essentially be a dictator.
Essentially saying. See, choice of words. Essentially saying, meaning I'm lying and making it up and I'm embellishing. Yeah, because I'm on a friendly network. And these bootleg fake Republican sellouts on here are just looking at me going, she is a full-blown liar, but I'm a prostitute, so I can't really judge her. See, I'm on here agreeing with these lies because I've signed on to prostitute myself for a nice paycheck.
Person running to enter back into the White House who is proud that he stripped Americans.
Here comes the emotion. Look at her adapting, y'all. Oh, yeah. Who is proud that he stripped? He's proud of it, y'all.
Women of the right to make decisions about their own body. A person running to become the commander in chief.
Drama. Yeah. So he's proud that he stripped up. Now, forget all of the millions of people who agree with, okay, kick this mess back out to the states and let them handle that. So if Trump put in Supreme Court justices that they end up ruling, somehow she's saying that Trump controlled them, made them, do that. He put in the Supreme Court justice and they made that decision, which is the right decision. But now here it is. Trump's proud. No, he's proud that he put in a real Supreme Court that is making the legal constitutional decisions of kicking this mess out to the people. And remember them, the people, Chameleon, who's supposed to be making the decisions for their own states. The people. But they don't care nothing about the people. If you don't believe me, go up to Shite Town, good old Chicago, and ask Mayor Brandon about the people wanting to vote on should we be a sanctuary city? Nope. No vote for that. We can't have the people voting. Let's continue.
Who is admitting he would weaponize the Department of Justice.
You mean like it already is? You mean like you guys colluding with Fat Fanny and Queen Latifah and Fat Albert and Jack in a Box? You mean like that? Huh? You mean like raiding Mar-a-Lago? You mean like that? Unreal. You mean like listening in on Donald Trump's phone lines as the president before and after? You mean like that? No way. You mean like having the FBI collude with big tech to go after conservatives? You mean like that, Chameleon? You mean like trying to get Trump off the ballot in states on some bogus 14th Amendment garbage? You mean like that, Chameleon? Look at you adapting and changing colors all on that set.
These issues in terms of how we are doing on a daily basis and how our democracy and our country is doing are inextricably linked. So yes, the economy is...
They're inextricably linked. Because, see, guys, remember, they are banking on this whole narrative of scaring Americans into thinking democracy is at risk. Trump's a dictator. They done even brought in the media to push the narrative. They all got together and said, all right, here's what we're going to do to try to beat him because he's whooping our tail in every other area. We can't get out there and, talk about our policies. We can't get out there and talk about what we're going to do about all the things we jacked up in the last 3.5 years. We can't do that. So here's what we're going to do. Focus on Trump being a threat to democracy and he wants to be a dictator. And when people bring up rational solutions and say, how about y'all just stop talking about all that and talk about what you're going to do for them? What? We can't do that. We done invested everything into talking about Trump being a dictator and taking away everybody's freedoms.
It's very important. We must do both. Address the economy and absolutely understand what is at stake in terms of fighting for our freedom.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how you're going to go after the other side. Sure. Because some heavy...
Here come Toucan Sandnose, the number one dummy, not stunner, not the number one stunner, the number one dumber. That's right, the number one dumber is coming off the bench, y'all, with a question talking about, let's talk about how you're going to go after the other side. Okay, let's hear what her plan is to go after the other side.
Hitting Democrats are sounding the alarm behind closed doors. President Obama reportedly has said that he thinks the Biden campaign is too complacent when it comes to Trump. Representative Jim Clyburn has said the campaign isn't breaking through the MAGA wall. Michelle Obama says she's terrified, as we are, about the potential outcome of the election. Now, are you scared, first of all, what could happen if Trump ever became, God forbid, president again?
See, now, the sad part about Toucan Sandnose is that she's really scared. See, remember, y'all, she's a pure 100% dummy. Okay, her and Whoopi are the original useful idiots on the show. See, they don't know stuff. Yeah, they're just as innocent in their stupidity as anything. Joy Behar probably said, I'm really scared about this, man. Our democracy's at risk. So now listen to Chameleon, because see, this is hard to overcome. You done invoked their wonderful supreme leader, Obama. So now surely Chameleon can't come out and badmouth Obama like he don't know what he's talking about. And Michelle, you think she's gonna come out and say, Michelle, man, she's overreacting. Are you kidding me? So watch how she handles this.
And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
I think this...
See, there it is. The crazies.
This negative talk about MAGA is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
Thank you. I had to bring that back in. The crazies, y'all. We're looking at them. We're looking at a whole cast of crazies right there. So here she is talking about how you're going to stop the crazies.
Scared as heck. Yeah. Which is why I'm traveling our country. You know, there's an old saying that...
Yeah, you're scared as heck, along with all of the rest of those crooks and criminals who snatched that last election somehow, who used the weaponization of our not CEO, but I'm thinking about that guy who I just used the weaponization of our DOJ and all of that. Yeah, that's why y'all scared. And you're not scared because of democracy and all of that mess. You're scared because of your own butts.
There are only two ways to run for office. Either without an opponent or scared. So on all of those points, yes, we should all be scared.
Yeah.
Y'all see that little, bless her heart. Joey just don't know stuff. You see her? Yeah. You can see it in the face. She's dead serious. Yeah. Like, shoot, yeah. I stay up at night thinking about this.
But as we know, and certainly this is a table of very powerful women.
What? A table of very dumb women. Yeah, a table of either dumb women or sellout women. That's all that's at that table right there. When you look across that table, all of them are either sellouts and prostituting themselves or completely dumb. But we're sitting at a table of very powerful women. What do you mean powerful? I don't even understand that. I mean, even you as vice president have no power. Well, then again, with Joe, we don't know. But none of them have any power. They just have influence because they're on a raggedy show that's a propaganda network.
We don't run away from something when we're scared. We fight back against it. So many of us know when we are scared for the future of our children, do we then stay in bed with the covers over our head?
Nope.
No.
We can't.
We can't.
Cannot.
We cannot. And this is where this election requires, rightly, that President Biden and I and all of us who are part of this administration,
do what?
we got to earn re-election. There is no question. We got to be on the road. Listen, in the last 2 weeks, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Nevada, I've been to North Carolina, I've been to South Carolina twice in the first 2 weeks of this year. I will be out on the road. We have to earn the re-elect, and we have to communicate what we have achieved.
Yes.
Which is nothing. Which is nothing. That's why y'all are so low in the polls. You can't communicate something that doesn't exist. You can lie about it. You can make it up. But at the same time, when people are seeing that, wait a minute, you're telling me there's a dragon flying around somewhere? Where is it at? This right up there. You don't see it? No, I don't. I think you're lying. You're making it up. That's why. But yeah, she's about to get to that border, y'all, in a second, y'all. Her solution to it. But first, y'all, she's pleading her case of why, hey, look, man, we're scared. And this is what we're going to do to show everybody the Democrats' way of governing is the better way.
And that is going to be one of our big challenges. We've done a lot of good work. We need to let people know who brung it to them.
Off of that, Donald Trump is facing 91 felony counts across 4 different indictments for a variety of crimes. Yet ABC's latest poll has President Biden's approval rating at 33% behind Donald Trump's.
Those poll numbers are in the commode. They got polls in the commode. So now here she is bringing this up, and watch her try to go ahead and still commit to her not even propaganda, prostitute contract. Okay, so now she's saying, all right, all of this crap, when it comes down to, Donald Trump and all these indictments, but somehow y'all still getting smashed. Why is that?
In head-to-head matchups in a number of battleground states, Donald Trump edges you and President Biden out. What does it say that the party is struggling to compete with an unfit man who is very likely going to jail?
There's the prostitute part of the contract. Look, I don't care what you ask her. All right. Now, as a paid prostitute, you have to make sure you end with an insult to Donald Trump. Okay. So here you see what she did. Most likely unfit man who's going to jail. Unreal. So I'm going to ask you that question and then insult Trump. And then wonder why y'all are getting y'all butts beat.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, it is a lot to unpack. A lot of lies. That's what it is. A lot of lies to unpack.
That's part of that.
So let's start with this. We are in the month of January.
Okay.
We've got 10 months to go until the
election.
election.
Chameleon.
And increasingly, and you've seen it even just this week, we are all starting to narrow in on what this election will mean. And frankly, in the midst of so many big issues challenging our world that, are not binary, it's not just one side or the other. On this one, there's a split screen that you can throw up.
She about to go ahead and draw that line in the sand. Chameleon saying, man, we want to do a compare and contrast. That's right. It's going to be very clear on what group of people you should vote for. Now, you can vote for the Democrats and get nothing but crap, or you can vote for Donald Trump and get over that hump. So here we go.
And see. Yeah. And it's going to be the choice between what is about respecting our democracy, what is about competence versus chaos.
Are you sick and tired of your calm, peaceful life?
Yeah.
Are you sleeping too well at night?
Sometimes.
Is your city too safe?
Mostly.
Well, not anymore.
No.
Introducing Democrats. Politicians so incompetent, they'll fill your neighborhood with riots, looting, rampant violence, and even homelessness.
Look at that.
The secret is a special blend of corruption and good old-fashioned stupidity. No more pesky law and order. When Democrats are in charge, nobody's safe. Simply vote for Democrats, sit back, and watch your neighborhood burn to the ground. But wait, vote for Democrats now, and they'll include rolling blackouts, election fraud, cancel culture, taxes, and more taxes. Democrats, bringing chaos right to your front door.
Yes, is this the Democrats? Yeah, I just saw your commercial ad. Yeah, I want to vote to destroy my city. Absolutely. Yeah, put me down. Dummy 185372. There you go. Thank you. That's what they are right there. That's the line in the sand. Man, I love that little clip right there. Oh, man. But wait, I love when they say a special blend of corruption and incompetence. There you go, man. So that's the line. That's the line. They can, you know what, honestly, that right there, whoever put that together, that can actually be used as a campaign piece. I would run that in cities like it's a real ad. Democrats. All right, now let's get back to her talking about the line in the sand and stuff.
Is someone who has called those who would attack our Capitol and try and undo the votes of millions of Americans and
undo the votes of millions of Americans. How?
In a presidential race, and would dare to call those
what?
people who committed acts of violence patriots? Correct their force and peaceful protesters.
The vast majority of the protest has been peaceful.
Donald Trump talks about Black Lives Matter as a terrorist organization. What do you say back to maybe some of his supporters and folks who are confused about what BLM actually stands for and what it means?
The brilliance and the impact of Black Lives Matter and their brilliance.
You mean that terrorist organization? You mean that Marxist organization? You mean that organization that now everybody won't touch them because they too hot, too hot. Too hot, baby. Yeah, I gotta run for comfort. I gotta run for shade. You mean that organization? That one right there? But this is her back in the day supporting that organization. And you saw the clip where she talked about, these are mostly protests. These are mostly peaceful protesters. As she bailed out those mostly peaceful protesters, raised money for them.
Brilliance in conceiving it. History is going to show
history is going to show that Black Lives Matter was the terrorist organization we said they were the Marxist organization that we said they were the radical organization that we said they were responsible for destruction of city after city as we said they were, and the organization who swindled all of these companies and people out of millions of dollars and put none of that money back into the black neighborhoods ain't changed nothing when it comes down to black issues, never go in and try to support black communities when it comes down to the real issues in the black community, but only shows up when they can exploit some random death from most of the time, as you see, black folks who get themselves in a pickle and then all of a sudden become a victim of the cops having to stop them with lethal force. Then they show up like buzzards. See, so now we all know the jig is up with Black Lives Matter. You think she came out and retracted this? Nope. That was her back in the day supporting the Black Lives Matter domestic terrorist organization.
An inflection point in the ongoing fight for justice, to your point, and to reform the criminal justice system and America's criminal justice system. I actually believe, as a former prosecutor, that Black Lives Matter has been the most significant agent for change.
The most significant agent for tearing up the country and us using them as our foot soldiers in brown shirts to torment and torture innocent citizens. That's what they're the most... That's what they were. An extension of the Democrat Party.
Within the criminal justice system, because it has been a counterforce to the force within the system that is so grounded in status quo and in its own traditions.
Now look at all of that praise for Black Lives Matter. But Trump refers to these protesters on J6 as political prisoners. Yeah, there it is. He right there, that means he supports insurrection that never took place. And he supports somehow terrorists that were never labeled as terrorists. That's what he supports. He supports what? A few crazy folks that, or should I say, I won't even say crazy. We had either one of two groups of people, in my opinion. We had the folks who intentionally provoked this and started this, and that is the people planted in our group and the cops that was throwing smoke bombs into that crowd that created the other group of people who responded to that aggression. See, that's the two groups of people that we had there. You had the agitators who came to agitate, go into the crowd. I'll say it. I'll say it. People like that. Then we had mysterious cops that just throw stuff out there, shoot smoke bombs into the crowd, and then stir up those people. And then they say, all right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go ahead. Start the camera as soon as the people get mad. We had that. See, but now here she is, trying to lie and talk about that. See, what I didn't see, though, is a whole 2 years of J6 situations taking place. I saw that out of Black Lives Matter, though.
Again, who would weaponize the Department of Justice, who glorifies those people who are running countries in a way that is about themselves and not the people.
She's really throwing off on Chi and Russia and all of this. She probably ain't talking about Chi, though, because of that $1.5 billion deal that Joe Biden got. She probably ain't talking about him, see. But she's trying to refer to Trump when he uses these dictators as examples of being able to point out the hypocrisy that's taking place in the Democrat Party. Those dictators are looking at America going, wow, that's even crazy. I mean, they done surpassed us with we thought we had a patent on a banana republic. We thought we had a patent on communism / Marxism. They put us to shame with this one. It's very obvious that they're using our tactics to stop their political opponent, but yet crying out that they're defending democracy across the globe, justifying why they need to attack other countries and get rid of dictators as they're doing the same stuff we're doing to their opponent. That's what he was referring to. But according to her, he loves them. Yeah, he's echoing their sentiments and he supports them. Such deception, but that's why she's Chameleon.
This is going to be the split screen. And I do believe that the American people are going to vote in favor of what is in the best interest of the future of our country, and in particular our children.
President.
In particular, back to the children. But don't you believe it? Yeah, wishful thinking. Unless y'all got something up y'all sleeve, a last minute up the sleeve crap that comes out, then y'all in trouble. So now, here it is. We're going to touch base on this last issue before we go, y'all. Oh, we're going to probably make the whole 2-hour mark tonight, okay? So we're at 1:28 right now. All right. Yeah, I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next half an hour or so. So here we go, y'all. All her big Achilles heel, the borders are. What is she doing?
On that, I have to ask about border security. So 2023 was the biggest year for illegal border crossings, with resources stretched, fentanyl pouring into the country, cities pushed to the brink. Do you think this is a crisis, and what is being done to address the root causes of our immigration?
Oh, crap. That's right. She just got shot through that Achilles heel. Yeah, here she is, the woman who was supposed to be the border czar, the one that went up there on TV talking about, listen, if you're coming to America illegally, Don't. As they all said, did you hear Chameleon? She told us to search the border when she said, don't come. We know, the dog whistle. The dog whistle to all of us illegal immigrants is, don't come to the border. That's the password. Let's go. All of them came running to the border, and we didn't hear nothing else from that border czar from that point on. So let's hear her go ahead now and jump back into the role of border czar, because she's a chameleon.
I think the segue couldn't be more perfect because, listen, first of all, everyone knows our immigration system is broken.
Yeah, we do. And we also know why. And we're going to show how conservatives think versus liberals, how conservatives process and synthesize information and come to conclusions versus liberals, how we see problems and we identify them and assess them correctly versus liberals in a second. Because see, what she's about to do is misplace the blame and deflect. We can't get no truth out of her.
First bill that we dropped, the first bill that we offered right after inauguration was to fix the immigration system. A comprehensive plan to deal with the immigration system. Do you think they've taken it up? No. We want solutions. The solutions are at hand. But frankly, we're in an election year, and the folks who want to return Donald Trump to the White House would prefer to talk about a broken immigration system instead of focusing on the solutions that are at hand.
And see, here's the problem. Their diabolical scheme to try to flood the country with illegal immigrants and pack them in went too long. See, they didn't start pumping the brakes halfway and trying to go ahead and say, now, as we're going into the election year, we got our 8, 9, 10 million. How about we start, turning off the knob? Yeah. How about we start going and say, you know what? We're going to have to answer for this around election time. How many we got? Okay, we're 2.5 years in. Now let's go ahead and start doing some things to slow this mess down so that the, Republicans won't be saying, look, we're here looking at about 9 months away from a new president, 10 months or so. And look at this border. They created the problem and allowed it to get so big. Now, all of a sudden, trying to fix it at the last second is almost impossible. And if the Republicans are smart, either they will get exactly what they want for border control, or they'll say, all right, leave it wide open so we can allow this to be your dagger in the heart. So now she's blaming Republicans, y'all.
And engaging in bipartisan work. Let's remember the days of George Bush, John McCain, even Lindsey Graham, who agreed that let's fix this. Let's work together on the solutions to fix this.
And are you working? Then it makes the Biden administration look good, and they don't want that.
Oh, you hear simple-minded, Simple Joy. Y'all hear Simple Joy come in talking about something. And yeah, it makes the Biden administration look bad. They don't. Boy, she's so simple-minded. I pity her. I really do. I feel bad for Joyce sometimes. But hey, anyway, she can't help it. Her brain is broke. All right, let's continue, though, because now this woman about to ask a follow-up question. Watch Chameleon. I know she wants to reach across this table and slap her face for asking a follow-up question. First of all, you think I came on this show to answer hard, tough questions? But because I'm on live TV, I'm going to go ahead and try to regurgitate some bootleg word salad. Here we go.
But what are you doing to work with Republicans to try to solve this issue once and for all?
We offered a bill. We have offered that there would be, in the Senate, we have offered that there will be a bipartisan work to fix it. It literally was the first bill we passed. And I think it's critically important that we understand that there are petty politics at play on this issue as much as anything.
Here it is. What is this? Oh, okay. Wapo slaps Biden White House with 3 Pinocchios. Knocks spin. The White House GOP voted to cut Border Patrol agents. Is that true? That sounds like petty politics at hand. Maybe Black Gay Drop can clear this up. Maybe she can clear that up.
Thank you. Why are you repeating this false claim that Republicans voted to reduce the number of Border Patrol agents, even though the Washington Post gave the administration 3 Pinocchios for that?
Because we're Democrats, and we're responsible for this mess, and we have to go ahead and try to misplace the blame and use propaganda and gaslighting to try to survive the heat that's coming down on us. It's kind of like when we all went out there talking about, let's defund the police, let's get rid of the police, and then somehow, magically, we started saying it was the Republicans who wants to defund the police and get rid of them. Yeah, that's why. See, we project. That's what we do. See, you didn't know that by now? So here you go asking me a question about our lies. So how's she going to respond? With more lies.
So we don't believe it's a false claim. Our statements were very direct here. So the reason I ask is because it's just, to voters, don't you think they know the difference between, what is a truthful statement and what is spin? And
that's why they're losing. That's why their poll numbers are in the hole. That's why folks are saying, y'all telling me that the economy's great and y'all think we don't know the difference? Yeah, y'all telling us that Trump is the greatest threat and all of this, and you don't think we know the difference? Yeah, y'all telling us that J6 was the greatest attack on the homeland, and I'm seeing people walking around in the Capitol in velvet ropes, peacefully looking and taking pictures, and rocking MAGA hats and stuff like that. Y'all don't think I know the difference between what a insurrection should look like versus these people on a tour? Y'all sitting out there telling us that, no, the border's not broke. There's no invasion. Yeah, this is no. And y'all don't think I know the difference when I look out and I see a sea of people coming our way? Yeah, that's the problem with the Democrats. Constantly lying about things that you can see with your own eyeballs. So here she's saying, why are y'all belittling the intelligence of American citizens? Well, they don't have to explain to us. Instead, they'll just call us white nationalists, call us the white Anglo-Saxon Christians and ultra MAGA folks. Therefore, your opinion, your common sense don't count.
Is it insulting to them at all to keep saying it when it's just not true?
Come on.
One thing that the president does not do is insult voters.
What?
Or American people.
One thing the president don't do is insult voters or the American people. Your whole administration has insulted voters and the American people by installing this guy who is out here saying some of the craziest things, falling up and down steps, can't walk, can't talk, and y'all are still telling us that this man is okay. Y'all don't think we know the difference? Y'all don't think we know the difference? Try national depression, isolate, punish China. Barack and I feel it's a right to have Vatican care. Think about what you think about at the time. My butt's been wiped. Y'all don't think we know the difference? But here we go. Even Joe, who she just said, no, Joe don't be insulting folks on, we got to check her work.
Why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
Shut up, you dummy.
It's a good question. Number one, I was a Democratic caucus.
What is that?
You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
Joe Biden, confronted by a UAW worker on his Second Amendment policies.
You're full of caca? Hush, hush.
After shushing his press aide, the argument intensifying, much of it difficult to hear.
Such a horse ass.
It's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters.
Tell them the truth, man.
Being a good person matters.
Hush up, boy.
Oh, Van Jones. He's another simple-minded man. Allowing himself to be prostituted. Oh, crybaby Van. Yes, that's right. He's a crybaby. Cry. Talking about character matters. Easier to be a dad today. So, yeah, I guess Joe Biden doesn't go around insulting people. No.
One thing that the president does not do is insult voters or American people.
No.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a...
All right, we know that President Biden likes to cultivate his public image as kindly Uncle Joe, he's often referred to. But apparently behind the scenes, I'm talking about in private, he reportedly has a bit of a temper.
Like all Democrats. Like Mahalia Jackson, Sheila Jackson, with that phone call that exposed her, y'all. Y'all some stupid MFers. Y'all Mickey Fickies can't do nothing right. You dumb bleep bleeps and bump bleep 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 bleep. Yeah, like most Democrats. And they all are something different behind closed doors. Yeah. Just like Joe the other day on my show came out talking about some, you know what, I'm honest. But yet had to drop out the first 2 times he ran for president because of plagiarism. I'm honest. But yet every time he comes out, you know what, our house almost burned down, almost lost my cat, my wife, and my Corvette. But I'm honest. There you go. So here is Joe behind closed door.
And you ain't black.
And unleashes it on his staff. That's according to an article by Axios.
So you're a damn liar, man. Oh. That's not true. Okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Now, Joe, you need to go back and find that man and apologize because we found out that is true. Your son was over there making all of those millions of dollars with that bootleg Ukrainian company that you got that guy fired because he was investigating. So you need to go back and apologize to that man. You call him a liar right on national TV.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Pat, look, here's the
They called him fat.
One thing that the president does not do is insult voters or American people.
They asked me would I like to debate this gentleman. And I said no. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Oh, he's encouraging violence.
I think you've had enough. No?
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
Now you've had enough.
That's what Biden wants to do.
We need some.
There it is, man. Yeah, now you're gonna get it, Biden. So that's what he wants to do. But according to Black Gay Drop, so Black Gay Drop came out and lied about a lie. So yeah, because it really came down to that. You know, they're sitting here blaming it on Republicans. Hey, we had a bill, and they didn't want to pass it. They didn't want to pass it. You know, stuff like that. Just complete lies after lie after lie because they don't have a solution to the border problem because they created the problem. And if they came up with a solution to it, then they would be undermining the problem that they created, which is really a solution for them and their ability to acquire new voters and cheap labor. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's deep right there. Let's continue though.
Solutions. The solutions are at hand. We have to work on them together. We have offered, for example, that in our security package coming up, $14 billion
For what?
that we would like them to approve,
Which Senate Republicans support.
to address
For
this
what?
issue, and Senate Republicans support it.
To do
So
what?
hey, let's all participate in solutions if we want to call ourselves leader.
Now, see, I'm upset with the Senate. Our Senate right now sucks. I don't know what's going on with the Senate, man. They got too many dinosaurs in the Senate. I like the radical, approach from the House Democrats that are real MAGA supporters. They're mixing it up. They're really making it hard on the rhinos over in the House. But it seemed like the Senate, man, they got a couple good heavy hitters, but man, they just making some raggedy choices. And Mitch McConnell's turtle having turkey neck gotta go immediately. Lindsey Graham gotta go. I hope they're all up for re-election coming into November. I really do. But I ain't been hearing nothing about anybody running against them. I'm hoping that there are a lot of people starting to ramp up a campaign to run against these raggedy senators and our raggedy leftover rhinos in the House. I hope so. We need to get rid of them. And I'll be dang if we win the presidency and somehow miraculously lose the House or the Senate. See, it's stuff like that that I'm concerned about. Really concerned about. So somebody said, way off topic, Buffalo Bills cursed. Yes or no? Yeah, I think they might go ahead and lose again to the Kansas City Chiefs. See, I don't mind going off topic every once in a while, but I got to get back now. I got to get back on because, see, we're about to go ahead and run a little experiment to show you just the difference between how Republicans view problems and approach them versus Democrats. See, and it also applies to the way the voters think too. Now, it could be something simple as something happening in our brains. Maybe conservatives have evolved a bit to where they're able to process stuff rationally versus, liberals. I don't know. But I will say after these examples, we're going to see a clear distinction. Okay, so let's go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Watch this, y'all.
Interesting.
Let's talk about immigration and what people are thinking when it comes to what's happening at the southern border.
Right. Well, first of all, there's been an increase in the number who say that what's happening there is a crisis.
Oh.
Right. So that's number one. And there's a majority who say it's either a crisis or a big problem. So people are taking notice.
So let me understand. Y'all understand? We got two groups of people. We got conservatives. We got liberals. They both think it's a problem. But watch how they think and interpret the problem. Totally different. So it's a problem, right? Look at how they see this problem.
You unpack that a little bit, though, and you say, like, what should be done? What should be done is strongly tied to what people think is the reason that this is happening. And let me show you that.
Now we get into the reason why. Because several weeks ago, I said, you know what the difference is between how conservative people think versus liberal people think. Not people in the middle who just don't think about this stuff at all. I'm talking about advocates for the Democrat Party and their policies. They never stop to say why. They take the initial problem that the Democrats throw out there. Yeah, they throw it out there and they say, these are problems. And conservatives go, is it really? And if it is a problem, what's the root? The people up in Chicago, mad because of all those illegal immigrants in there. They're looking at Brandon Johnson. There it is. Yeah, that guy right there, is he selling us out? Stop to say, why? Why do we get to a Brandon Johnson? What does a Brandon Johnson represent? Who does a Brandon Johnson serve? What is the policies of the party that he serves? What's their goal and agenda? Where does the problem originate at that border? Who's controlling that border? Keep going down that path. You'll find out that the problem is bigger than Brandon Johnson. It goes all the way back right up to the White House and the Democrat Party's policies, goals, and agenda. But nope, they might just stop right at Brandon Johnson. And then right after they get rid of him, go and vote in another Brandon Johnson. Just like they got rid of Beetlejuice and voted in that dude. So we think differently. We say, let's keep digging, man. Let's keep digging. Yeah, I'm on 2 hours. Trust me, I'm going to make it. We're almost done. But nope, not them. Here's their interpretation of the problem.
This. When you ask Democrats, why are migrants trying to cross the border? Their top answers, there's a lot of them, but their top answers are that the migrants are fleeing bad economic conditions in their
bad economic conditions. What else?
Their country, or increased danger in their own country. Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what they're thinking. Yeah, bad economic conditions or increased danger in their country. Yeah. Now, on one end, they're right. They are fleeing bad economic conditions. They're definitely not coming for asylum. And these people, I'm wondering if they're even interpreting bad economic conditions as a real legitimate reason why they should be coming. Because that's not a legitimate reason to apply for asylum. Okay, they're just saying they're mostly fleeing that. But why are they fleeing? Why are they coming here for bad economic conditions? Could it be that the Biden administration and all of these folks who own businesses that contribute to the Democrat Party, they want cheap labor, are giving these folks an incentive to come? If we weren't providing any economic benefits for these people to come, would they still come? Or would they bite the bullet and figure out how to survive in their own country? See, but okay, now let's move over to how the Republicans interpret the problem. These white nationalists, these stupid, simple-minded folks can't get nothing right. We only believe what Trump tell us to believe.
You ask Republicans why it's happening, and they point to rule changes by the Biden administration.
Bingo! Look at the difference in how we both interpret the same problem. Rules and changes by the Biden administration.
And not enough security at the border.
Bam! Not enough security at the border. Failure to finish border walls. And economic conditions worse in their own country. There you go. So now here we are going, y'all are bypassing the source of these problems here. Y'all looking at the people. We're looking at the policies. We're looking at the source of the issue. We're doing what my dog Sophie and Caesar, no, just Sophie at the time, Sophie and Raven. I had two dogs named one Raven, one Sophie. Raven ended up disappearing somehow. I don't know what happened to her. But I bought a Shih Tzu right after that named Sophie. And I had an old dang on, a Cocker Spaniel named Shakespeare. Yeah, man, Shakespeare ended up, with one eye. He's one of them dogs, like Popeye. Yeah, mad for nothing all the time. But Shakespeare, he had a problem. Yeah, he couldn't resist this little red beam that I would use. From the time he was little, I found out that Shakespeare liked chasing this little red dot. So I'd take my little dot and he'd be running around. He would chase that beam all night if I shined it all over the place. So when I got Sophie, I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to trick Sophie too. First time I did it, Sophie looked at the little dot on the ground, then looked back at me and was like, there's where the dot's coming from, right there. Why are you going to have me running around chasing that red dot all over the place? Somebody said they remember this story. Yep. See, Sophie refused to chase that red dot like a fool because she knew that guy right there is controlling it. He's responsible for the dot. Shakespeare never looked up to see the source. He chased that dot with his head down just like this. He would have chased it all the way to heaven. Now I'm going to chase that big red dot in the sky right about now. My man, before he died, if he was limp and crawling and I shine that dot on the floor, he's chasing it. Not Sophie. She's like, you ain't gonna make me look stupid. I know the source. That's how conservatives think. We're saying, oh yeah, there's the problem right there. Mucus, these policies, all of that. Democrat voters, where's that dot? Where do you want me to chase it?
And you look at differences in why people think migrants are trying to cross, then that goes to policy solutions. So the Republicans say more border security. The Democrats say faster processing, more expedited processing either way for asylum seekers.
Horrible solution. Jump over the obvious. See, their solution is let's make it easier for them to come in. The real problem is that they don't have jobs and they need help and that's Democrat voters, man. That's liberal thinking. I'm saying you're not solving the problem. Maybe we need a divorce. If you had a marriage and your wife thought like that or your husband thought like that and you were rational, you would be going, okay, you're coming to solutions that would only increase our problem. Okay, honey, we're short on money. So let's go take out a loan so we can buy more stuff. I was thinking maybe we could stop spending and save money to get the debt down. But your solution is what? We both identify the problem, but two different solutions? Counterproductive. So their solution is that now, why would they think like this? Why are liberal voters thinking like this? Well, we're about to find out as we close. Because Democrat politicians who manipulate them present their arguments like this versus conservatives. So now I'm going to show you all the difference in the way Democrat politicians argue and present their policies, their justification for, issues that's going on and their solutions versus conservatives. So here we go. Oh, man, this is juicy right here. Watch this. Stunts and emotions. See, that's what the Democrats use to make arguments. Stunts and emotions that touch the heartstrings of their voters who think that the problem is we need to bring these people in quicker and we need to make sure because see what they're doing, operating off of stunts and emotions by these.
To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, let's be honest with immigrants who deserve better than what you're offering them. Don't welcome immigrants if you plan to reject them. If you keep pushing your bigoted HR2 bill, then also pass this bill. I've taken the
Oh yeah, start off with a whole bunch of accusations. Your racist HR bill. There you go. Let's get all up in those emotions. Our Democrat colleagues never say illegal immigration. See, y'all see that? You see, I'm starting to go ahead and dissect and break down how these stinking, corrupt, evil, globalist politicians right here present their arguments, no solutions, all accusations, all emotion, all just irrational thoughts, all kind of stunts. So this man's solution now to illegal immigration is number one, don't identify it as illegal immigration. Just say you guys are opposed to immigration. And then the second stunt is a bill to do what?
liberty of drafting it for you. It removes the Statue of Liberty, our largest symbol that tells people to come here. This is the product that the Democrats produce. That's what it is. Let's go ahead and put together this stupid bill to remove the Statue of Liberty so we can make an example of how all of these Republicans don't like immigrants. We don't want immigrants to come. So why don't we just go ahead and remove the Statue of Liberty? That's what we should do. That's my solution. That's what I paid my staff to draft. This is what I paid to go ahead and have them put down this stupid graphic right behind them, this little, illustration. That's what I did with my solution. This is the solution that I'm bringing to a serious problem in our country where Americans are going, what are y'all going to do about this? This guy's solution is let's get rid of the Statue of Liberty. Stunts, accusations, and the rewording of words that put it in its proper context. Illegal immigration. Is who you are. removing the fabric of America. So I want to know which Republican who supports and voted for H.R. 2.
No, I want to know what dummy is watching this dude and said, that's right. These folks don't like immigrants, period. So now what we should do is remove the Statue of Liberty to show everybody we're not. This is the dumbest stuff. I mean, these are the people that they're voting in to go up and represent them. And here's their solutions and arguments to serious problems.
We'll introduce this bill.
Let's be clear.
There's another one.
There is a crisis right now.
Oh, but you know what ain't going to be identified as the real crisis. See, you already know. These bubbleheads, these dummies, these corrupt, evil politicians. This is how they get folks to buy into it. Now watch her identify the problem, guys. Here we go.
But it's not because the southern border is open.
It's not? It's not because, see, I was thinking my eyes was telling me the truth. I was thinking every time I look and see seas of people coming, that looks like an open border. I was thinking that when I see people sliding through cracks in the fence, that's an open border. I was thinking when I see cities being flooded with thousands of immigrants every day, that was an open border. But instead, what is the problem?
Because immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, which the Republicans and their racist cult leader, Donald Trump, want you to believe.
There we go. Misquotes, misinterpretation, emotion, accusations, racism. That's the problem. There you go. Their cult leader, their racist leader, Donald Trump, the blood poison in the blood of the country. I'm not going to mention these are illegal immigrants coming because Democrats said come. I'm not going to mention that.
Right now, Congress and the administration are signaling they are willing to use immigrant communities as bargaining chips for more war and more weapons.
What does that even mean? For more war and for more weapons. What the heck is she talking about? How does that even overlap? More war and more weapons. So let me get this straight. They don't want to pass a bill because they're using a real crisis that Americans even say is a crisis. Okay, they're using that as bargaining chips so they can get more money for more war and more weapons. As all of these Democrats support more war and more weapons. So if that's the case, the Republicans are doing something stupid. You're giving all these Democrats what they want when it comes down to more war and more weapons. But that doesn't fly with the bubblehead right here, the dummy. So here we go.
However, raising the credible fear standard and imposing violent enforcement policies like mass family separation and summary deportation would destroy our asylum system for a generation.
No, it would correct it. It would put it back in place. Y'all have destroyed the asylum process. When mucus got in and no longer require these people to stop at the first country they get to. See, asylum for these people in their head, anybody could come from anywhere around on the globe at any time for any reason. That's the asylum process that they want. They don't want the original asylum process to where you're fleeing for only two reasons. You're fleeing because of persecution for religion or persecution for your political beliefs. That's it. Not to mention your butt need to stop somewhere else before you get to our border. But here she is talking about they would destroy the asylum process for generations to come. Y'all already did that.
Would violate our obligations under international law and ensure more chaos in the immigration system.
This is why their voters think this way. Yeah, they mislead them with the most asinine, solutions, the most emotional responses. Hey, there it is. All of that is emotion. All of that is look at the people. Look what they're doing to these poor illegal immigrants. They're all white nationalists. Their motives are all stimulated by racism and hate for these people and people of color.
The damage caused by this chaos and inhumanity is personal for me and my constituents.
Oh, here we go.
My office has seen a significant increase in immigration cases in the recent months. Each one shows the human dimension of this issue. Mm-hmm. A family fleeing the horrific violence in Sudan. A mother who can't take care of her ill child. A woman with cancer whose family members can't visit her. A doctor whose...
Sound like American problems. Sound like problems that everybody have across the globe. You wasn't worried about people visiting their family members during the lockdowns, were you? Your old grandma had to die on her own, right? There you go. Wasn't worried about all of that, right? But now here she is, family and people visiting and stuff. And I'm going, these are problems that everybody got. Here's a tissue for your issue.
Beyonce can't live with her, a young man whose wife died and whose family members couldn't attend her funeral. Yeah. Endless wait times for family members fleeing violence and persecution in Haiti and Gaza and elsewhere.
Haiti and Gaza and elsewhere. Countries that aren't even connected to South America. Boy, man. But once again, if you are susceptible to this type of brainwashing, then you will come to conclusions like those people who took that poll. Hey, we think there's a problem. The problem is we're not letting them in quick enough. That's the solution to it.
We are doing the best we can as an office to help our constituents in St. Louis and their families face these crushing obstacles. But ultimately, Congress must act. Congress must legislate. We know what the solution is: building a just and humane immigration system and addressing the root causes of migration. That looks like expanding lawful pathways, using parole authority, increasing asylum case processing capacity, securing our authorization for folks who are already here, protecting our dreamers, ensuring that states and cities have the resources they need to process new arrivals, and ending support for war, blockade, sanctions, and other policies that disproportionately harm civilians.
In other words, go over there and take a bucket of gasoline and throw it on the fire. We want it to turn into a barn fire. That's what we want. Not one of these solutions decrease illegal immigration. Not one. What she's basically describing is we want an open border. We want more of these people. None of that discourages anybody from coming from any country on the globe. None of it. Just straight told us that, that problem that all you voters are recognizing, the way we see fixing it is make it worse. Make it easier for these people to come. Which would only encourage more of them to come. Now, we now got an example of how the voters perceive problems when it comes down to conservatives versus liberals. And now we're going to see an example of how Democrat politicians make their arguments to justify their stupidity versus a conservative argument. A Republican argument.
We must not surrender to this failed policy approach. We must stand with the people, all of humanity, and with a fair and humane approach to immigration and foreign policy. That is what St. Louis and I will continue to push for.
Well, I'll take common sense for 100. Here we go. Watch this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's talk about facts and reality and less about, let's say, word vomit and drivel.
Oh, man, facts and logic is that holy water on those vampires. No, we'd rather go with emotions and stunts, non-solutions and accusations of racism versus this.
Quote, border is no less secure than before Biden took office. Who said that? Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary.
Prove it.
Said that under oath in front of this Congress. So let's look at some indisputable data.
What? No.
In the first 34 months of the Trump administration, there were 1.6 million illegal encounters. Same time frame, Biden administration, 8 million.
Gotcha.
No less secure than...
Hold on. 1.6 versus 8 million? Holy moly. Wow, that's a tall fact to overlook right there. I didn't hear that from Cori Bush or the guy who wants to get rid of the Statue of Liberty. Huh? What else?
Before Biden took office. That's interesting. In our history, we had two outlier months 25 years ago, nearly, where we had 200,000 illegal border crossings in a month. Hadn't happened in almost a quarter century. It has happened 20 times under Joe Biden's watch.
What? So in a quarter of a century, we only had 2 outlier months, and under Biden, it has happened 20 times. I wonder if the Statue of Liberty guy is able to interpret and synthesize that fact. But why deal with that? The solution he has is get rid of the Statue of Liberty. The solution to them having 20 outliers since Biden came on board is to, process these people in faster. Help them get visas to stay, give them all amnesty. That's their solutions.
We had in the last 2 years of the Trump administration, I believe it was 6 folks that were on the terrorist watch list. In the last 2 years, 6 total. Last year, 169.
Holy, I'm out of fingers. I was able to count to 6, but the 100 and how many? Okay, wait, I got to start doing this. So, wow, we're not just talking about just, illegal immigrants. We're talking about terrorists and everything. But I wonder if Cori Bush and all of them people are sensitive about that. No. See, none of this stuff he's talking about deals with emotion, accusations, facts.
The number of Russian nationals crossing our southern border has exploded. Whoa. Same with Chinese nationals. Look at the MO of what the Russians did in Ukraine. Oh. They put folks into Ukraine, and then some of them were saboteurs. It doesn't need to be a large percentage. But
you know what? Cori Bush is not worried about that. She's worried about the people coming in and they can't go to the hospital to see their families. And what about the person who... She's not worried about homeland security. She's not worried about the potential threat of sabotage or terrorism. She's not worried about that. No. What an idiot, man. These people are complete. And they use black folks a lot of times for this. Look at that young black kid. I was talking about get rid of the Statue of Liberty because the Republicans hate immigration. No, we hate illegal immigration. Then Cori Bush comes out and just makes us look bad. I'm sorry, it's a little personal when I see black folks in Congress on the Democrat side being prostituted by Democrats who they swear up and down are fighting against the end of democracy and racism. And so I'm going, you don't realize you're a token to these people. Coming out looking and sounding stupid with your dumb arguments.
Chinese nationals a few years ago, prior to Joe Biden, there were 323 Chinese nationals across the southern border.
Wow.
Last year was 24,000.
What?
If they happen to invade Taiwan, what if just 1% of those folks are saboteurs?
Good grief.
Opioid deaths have doubled. Mexican drug cartel profits are at record highs.
Now, there you go. That's how you win an argument against a liberal. But that shows the difference between raggedy politicians who can't argue on the merits, who have contributed to destroying, the country, have increased and created all of these problems now that they're trying to excuse away. They're trying to come up with something that sounds rational, but they can't. So what do? They fall back on emotion. They fall back on accusations. They fall back on misplaced blame. They fall back on gaslighting. They fall back on pivoting. All of the crap we saw Chameleon do. We saw Black Gay Drop do. We saw these congresswomen and men do. But what they're not going to do is address what the real Americans are saying. I hear what y'all saying, but I'm seeing something different. You're belittling my intelligence. You're telling me to solve the problem, do things that will make the problem worse. All right, I see what you got here, buddy. It looks like you got a severe leak of water in your basement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust open that pipe. Okay, good. And then what? You're going to plug it or no? No. I'm going to let it keep flowing until the river runs dry. Well, wait, wouldn't that mean that my whole house would, because you're probably not going to, the river's never going to run dry. Or that's what you're thinking. I don't want to be anti-river. I don't want to offend all of that water that simply wants to just flow. It wants to flow. So we're going to go ahead and let all of that water continue to fill up. That's my solution. Next thing you know, the whole city's flooded because you didn't plug a leak in Kev's house. That's what would happen. See, same thing. We're not going to plug up the leak at the border. We're going to let it keep flowing until there's no more people in South America. And in this case, maybe on the globe. Let's just move everybody from every country to our country. Because that's exactly what Cori Bush and these Democrats are okay with. That's exactly what's happening. People from hundreds of countries coming to our southern border and right on through. And that pisses me off. But hey, guys, I'm here to expose it. I'm 8 minutes over. My bad. But I had to go ahead and finish, man. Oh, Kev. They said, Kev, can I move in with you? Absolutely. Come on. Dang on it. Yeah, maybe we can hold it down up here in Ohio. All right, so thanks for watching the show tonight, y'all, and kicking it with me. But I had to expose the Chameleon, man. Yeah, I can't have her on there deceiving people. Somebody said, love this channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, trying to change colors all up on that bad boy. All right, yeah. See, now you see me, now you don't. I always see you, Chameleon. I always see you for what you are, a chameleon. So God bless y'all. All right, don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos. Text 330-974-4607 to this number. Text MAGA to that number, and you will get yourself right into Kevin's Corner, where I can keep contact with you just in case shenanigans take place. And also, Don't forget, check out the corner store. And finally, if you want to contribute for my labor, that's right. You can do that through my monthly fundraiser. The link is below. We got 5 days left before that link expires. So yeah, that's right. Hit a buzzer beater if you can. All right. Other than that, y'all, check out my alternative channel, which seemed like it just stopped. I'm looking at my computer right here, and why did that stop? I don't see myself moving over here on my alternative computer. All right. Somebody said, can't wait to get my merch. Thank you. Please go check that out, man. Check out the merch. And look who's sitting here on the way out. Come here, buddy. You were down there sleeping. Yeah, I was talking about you. Guess who else doesn't chase the light? Gizmo. I tried the light on him, y'all. It didn't work. He was down there sleeping. I'm sorry, he got the puffy sleep eyes. You see that? He's like, why you pick me up? I was sleeping. Yeah, you never chased that light, did you, Gizmo? No, you didn't, because you're smart. You're smart. Unlike these dumb Democrats. I don't raise Democrat dogs. I don't do it. I raise conservative dogs who identify the real problem. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. Let's get out of here. Oh, you ready, kids? Who's scared? You scared? This is all scared. This is all scared. Tear up the place. Yeah. See y'all next time. Kevin's Corner. Take care.